It was all good. It was safe to come out and play again, is what they were telling us. Netflix was never coming down again, and why not? It had made a 120-point run. 120 points since the day after Christmas, 3 weeks. 231 up to 353. You gotta love it, right? What's not to love? What could go wrong? Well, the only thing I can see that might have been a tip is 3 days ago. 3 days ago, Money Stream peaked and was coming out of Netflix ahead of today's earnings announcement. And then first thing this morning, or maybe it was early afternoon, Zero Hedge, the paper of record, the blog of record, has an interesting little find here. Some rube decided that he was going to put up a stunning, enormously Bullwinkle bet on Netflix earnings. And he did it by buying 5 million shares of the XLC ETF. That trade, that position size, I meant to say, worth about $223 million on the what could go wrong earnings announcement for Netflix. Fast forward then to the aforementioned earnings release. Right after 4 o'clock, they announce, the news algos jump all over it on a pylon. They send that, the news algos get this sucker up to 364, and then moments later, they start reading below the headline, and low, it falls to 333 in less than 5 minutes. There's a couple attempts to squeeze it higher, squeeze it back to the midway point. That goes on for a good half an hour after the close, and then woe is me, and certainly woe to Mr. $223 million. It ain't gonna happen. So at 6:45 Eastern, it's crossing at about 340, 340 and a quarter. 13 points down from its normal hours trading close, and $23 below the spike on the news announcements. Where could it be going? Well, first support from what I can see will be these Livermore pivots we talked about last night, the first one being down around 311.38. You do, of course, have the 200-day moving average right there, which clocks in at about 334.10 is where the 200-day moving average is. And isn't that interesting? We fell 1 point below it, and that's where the bots were sitting to push it back on up. So tomorrow, 334, there'll be a test. If it can't hold, 311.38. Resistance, of course, is its most recent highs, which would have been yesterday. So if the 200-day can't hold, which is also the after-hours low, somehow that buckles and craters, like I said, Livermore pivot, 311.38. If that does not prove to be support, we got the 50-day down here at 287. This is not a Livermore pivot. It's just something I put in on the daily. But I think there's an argument that the low at 250.89 from back in late November is possibly another bounce point. And then, of course, you've got the last line of resistance, 231.47, which is the Christmas Eve, the day after Christmas low before this monster rally started. And wasn't it only 2 days ago, guys, when Netflix announced an 18% increase in their subscription fees that sent us just screaming higher and higher, the entire market. Well, they better be raising that subscription fee by 18%. They're burning through cash like they're going to the electric chair. Read the report. It's quite fascinating. In the meantime, I am King Cambo. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. And this is how I roll on getting Netflixed. And Mr. $223 million piker, the next call you'll be getting is going to be margin call, gentlemen.